or 6 weeks or so, we're seeing almost 10 calls booked a week at this point.
Thanks so much for joining today, Jeremy. Before we get started, would you like to introduce yourself and the company?
Yeah, my name is Jeremy Notzelman. I am the owner of Press Advantage. We work with digital marketing agencies to provide better SEO, brand, and reputation management results for their clients. And we leverage press releases and digital PR to do that.
Fantastic. So Jeremy has been working with us for about 6 months now. And Jeremy, before we started working together, like what was the business like? What projects were you working on? And what was the reason you decided to give this a shot?
Yeah, historically, speaking, we've been very much a word of mouth and affiliate-based company. We're not a rapid growth company. We've been around for over a decade at this point with slow organic growth without any sort of outbound outreach. And we decided that it was time to start doing some outreach, and we experimented initially with cold calling, and we really didn't have a whole lot of success with that. Weren't really hitting any kind of numbers. It was a very difficult thing to do. And
Right. And did you have any hesitations before signing on? Anything that you were not sure about, or where you think or you would say you took a leap of faith?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of two different things. Number one was, your typical model being on a pay per call booked basis was difficult for us because our offer was, different from what you were, kind of using for most of your other clients, and you were very transparent with that and upfront, and so we were able to, go to a different model. I felt pretty confident, knowing Bradley and the luck that he's had with you, and I know that he would not have sent me over to you if he didn't have lots of confidence. And then when we were on our call, we just kind of talking about the different angles we can take and things like that. I felt pretty confident that it was worth a shot to give it a try for a few months and see how it worked out. So.
Gotcha. Well, that's good to hear. And now that you've been through this process for a while, what would you say the results look like?
Yeah, so we kind of came in with, I think, lower expectations, as far as, how many calls that we are going to book. This was very much a proof of concept sort of thing for us. We wanted to, given our poor experiences with cold calling, I wanted to make sure that cold emailing was going to resonate with our audience and really kind of test that out. So, we sized our engagement with you appropriately. Walking in, I certainly expected it to be a long-term process before we really saw any kind of results. But within the first couple of weeks, we were getting calls booked, and so I was pretty happy to see that. Over the last 6 months or 6 weeks or so, kind of taking the holiday season out as we record this, we're just past the new year. So if we remove the Christmas time and New Year's from our numbers, we're seeing almost 10 calls booked a week at this point, and so we're pretty happy with that, to the point where we're ready to scale up and start sending more volume and booking more calls, because this approach is certainly bearing fruit for us. The quality of the lead is significantly better than what we were seeing elsewhere as well. They are not nickel and diming, let's say. They're happy to spend money to make money, which is always a good thing when you're selling a service like ours. And so that's been pretty nice to see as well.
That's good to hear. And now that you have this lead volume, like how is it impacting the business? What changes are you seeing, positive or negative?
Yeah, so we're definitely seeing more sales, which is obviously what people always want to see. Of course, since it is cold outreach and not warm out, a warm conversation, the sales cycle has extended a little bit, which has then also exposed the gap on our front in some of our analysis and our metrics that we track. So we're working on improving that, so we have a much better handle on what our full end-to-end pipeline looks like. So having extra leads is great because it is exposing all of these other gaps internally that we need to fill as part of our sales process. And so, but like I said, we're seeing the type of results that we want so that we can scale up and start ramping up our inside sales, folks that can start taking on more of these sales calls, and then hopefully we can just continue to ramp up as we go. So.
Makes sense. And other than obviously, doing the outreach and, getting these appointments, is there any other aspect of us working together that stands out to you?
Yeah, so one thing that really kind of jumped out at me from a professionalism and kind of really cemented you guys as an expert, in your field, is about a month or so into our engagement, we started running into some problems with book rates, and then backing out from that, found some technical challenges that both from an infrastructure perspective, but also some shifts in deliverability and things like that. That is kind of part of the kind of part of the program when it comes to sending lots of email. And you guys quickly identified the problem and made some changes to fix it. And we came back actually better than we were doing before from a deliverability and a reply rate perspective. So that really gave me a lot of confidence in your guys' ability to get things done, to deal with problems and adversity. I think the other thing that has kind of jumped out at me as a positive is I try to be easygoing and easy to work with, but there are areas where I tend to kind of poke at and want things in a certain way, especially, for example, having context for email threads that your folks may have had with these prospects when they book a call. I'd like to know what they talked about, and so you were pretty quick to put workflows in place to make sure that we get copies of those as calls get booked and such, so that we're not walking into a call blind. And I really appreciated that, because like I said, I try not to be too much of a pain, but sometimes I can be, and so it's nice to have you guys accommodate my needs that way.
Absolutely, and that's not a pain at all. Like, it's completely understandable for you to want to see the conversations, so not a problem. Yeah, and finally, Jeremy, like, if how likely are you to recommend us Hyperke to another B2B business who's also looking to grow?
I already have. So I've sent a few people your way, and I continue to do so whenever somebody asks, what we're doing. I will actually often have that conversation with prospects on a call, because the first thing they want to talk about is, so how are you doing your outreach that you found me? Because I need to do that kind of outreach too. And so we'll have a quick conversation about you guys, and typically they'll be interested in introduction and stuff after that. So I'm always looking to fill out my roster of people to refer folks to, and you guys have certainly slipped into the spot when it comes to cold email outreach. So
Absolutely, and super appreciate all the kind words you've been putting out, Jeremy. Just one final question: in the next 12 months, how do you see your business, like, be press advantage, and just everything evolving in the next 12 months, and how do you feel we could be contributing to that?
yeah, we feel pretty good about the next year. We think that certainly the digital marketing space is going under some major shifts when it comes to the impacts of AI and large language models, and what that means for marketing and SEO, and even just regular content marketing, and getting people into your sales funnel. I think that cold email itself is going to continue to be a bigger factor as far as getting people into your sales ecosystem as a B2B company, and we will certainly continue to leverage that as well. For us, we would certainly like to take the volume that we're doing today, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'd like to be at about 4 times that volume, with multiple full-time closers working the leads that we're bringing in through you guys, and potentially opening up new markets as well. So we're definitely looking at growth and leveraging you to help drive that outbound component of that. So
Absolutely. Sounds amazing, Jeremy. Thanks so much. Really appreciate you
yep,
taking time for the interview, and looking
anytime.
forward to contribute to Press Advantage as much as as much as possible.